All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us again tonight as we are continuing to kick off the 2026 Montana Armbender with our second matchup on the card. That's going to be between Ben Brooks and Dustin Finley. And this match is sponsored by Johnson Madison Lumber Company. So I will be linking them down below. Big thanks to them and big shout out for bringing this match to us because this is a really big deal. Starting with you, Ben. If you could let everyone know how long you've been arm wrestling, where you're arm wrestling out of, and what your biggest accomplishment so far in arm wrestling is.
I'm from Lewistown, arm wrestle out of Lewistown. Not really anyone to arm wrestle with here, so I travel all over to practice with other clubs. Been arm wrestling since 2019. Put on an event in Lewistown. It was at the Winter Fair, and I showed up to that. I thought I was good at arm wrestling and just got smoked by everybody. So
Yeah.
after that, I started training for it and practicing with those guys. And my biggest accomplishment to date, I don't think I really have any big accomplishments. Other than, I guess,
Or your favorite win, maybe?
I don't know.
You throttled Saray Brown. That's pretty sweet.
What's that?
You throttled Saray Brown.
Yeah, I guess, I've beat, him, Cody Merritt, AJ Henson.
Yeah, all big, well-known names.
Pretty sure that was all on the same day, too.
The guy from Brazil.
Yeah.
I think he's like
That's
national
Gabby's
champion
husband,
there.
right?
Yeah. And I've like won the Montana State for like 4 years. Not the last couple years because I've been injured, and then won tournaments in Wyoming and South Dakota, North Dakota, Utah. I've done pretty well everywhere I've gone.
Yeah, despite the relatively short time in the sport, you kind of really had a knack for it and took off hard and got a lot of big wins. And, you're pretty humble, which I definitely appreciate. But like all those names are people that, some people train for 10 plus years and they don't get to even touch them on the table.
Yeah.
And then Dustin, same questions over to you.
Well, I guess my first tournament was February of 23. So this armbender will technically be 2 years of competing. I started training the December before that, honestly, because my boss, I was looking for strongman. That's what I'd always done. It wasn't very prevalent in Montana. My boss like, hey, there's this little like bar tournament. You should go try it. Joe Fair was not competing right-handed because he was going against Leif in the armbender. So I ended up winning that one. I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty sweet. And then, like I was talking to Andrew before, it's much more conducive to my schedule. It was a nicer style of training to my body. It didn't blow my back out. I had 7 compressed discs, 2 herniated ones. So squatting, deadlifting was excruciating. I was living on 6 ibuprofen and a butt ton of caffeine to just get up and do stuff. And I didn't want to do that forever. And then essentially ended up falling in love with it. And then Ben actually was like my corner guy from the time I was a stranger doing my very first super match all the way into this one. So Josh keeps putting me with all these absolute teddy bears of dudes because I'm the mean one, I guess. Because I'm like, dude, like, as soon as you said it, I'm like, man, like that's super cool. But I'm like, Ben's literally been like the guy, didn't even know me. He's like, here, like, hey, do this, help grab your arm, like I'll warm you up, I'll do this stuff. And then now he's got to be the kid who threw my kid's lunch down and spit in his.
Yeah, it's got to change a bit once you get on the table there.
Oh yeah. I can turn it on. The strongman's help that. Like I can definitely tap into the adrenals pretty good, where whole body's almost vibrating, can't see very
Absolutely.
good after it.
And I was gonna say, Ben, do you have a sport or any kind of strength background before arm wrestling, or is arm wrestling kind of like your first jump into this type of I don't know, I guess niche or hobby or sport, whatever you want to call it?
Pretty much, yeah. I've been, weight training since high school, but I haven't competed in anything, no. Other than like a handful of like amateur powerlifting meets in college, but that's been it.
Were you always kind of like a naturally stronger person though? Because like I said, I feel like you kind of took off running with arm wrestling and you got very good very fast.
Yeah, I guess I've been like like 500-pound bench presser, like 700-pound deadlift, 700-pound squat, but I've been training since high school, actually junior high. So I started off pretty weak. Actually, I remember in junior high in 8th grade, took the strength and conditioning class, and the coach would make us do this bench press machine, like a 1 rep max in front of the whole class. And I was like one of the biggest kids in there, but had the weakest bench press of anybody.
Yeah.
It was absolutely humiliating. So, since then I've been, training pretty hard.
I feel you on that. When I was a freshman in high school, I wrestled in the 103-pound division, but I think I was like 98 pounds, and I couldn't even bench press the bar.
Wow.
I totally 100% get that. It's very motivating. Go ahead.
I was like, I hope we didn't, but I feel like we had the same bench press machine and the same sound. I'm like, really? Like it was some ghetto, almost pin loaded military press that you could lower the arms down and then scoot a bench under it. And the arm was
that's what it
not
was.
even realistic to a real bench. Like it started at your chest and it'd be like over the nose by the top. I'm like, that is, even back then watching Mike
To-
Medvedev guys, I'm like,
I
this
have to
is
say
not
though, to a point though, that machine is actually, you're kind of disadvantaged if you're a bigger guy, because you start from like a more disadvantaged, your shoulders further
Yeah.
back. So I will say that probably did hold you back a little bit. But I also like how you just kind of threw out like a 500 bench and 700 squat and
Like it's
deadlift like
not even important.
nonchalantly.
Yeah. I was laughing. I'm
Yeah,
like, really?
definitely.
Yeah, no, that's no big deal. I was
Definitely
laughing.
not right
Pretty
now.
elite.
500.
Because I
Right.
tore
Arm
my
wrestling takes over for sure.
I tore my UCL, in 2024 against RVJ, and then that December I tore my pec right off the bone. Had to have that operated on, and I'm just getting back into it now. And that was all on my right side, and so my right side doesn't want to cooperate like the left side, and having trouble building strength back up.
That's how it goes sometimes. But I had a injury myself earlier this year, and I mean I'm sure you've done it all too. But after this, I'll go ahead and forward you over some of the stuff that I found, and I think it's making really big uh, difference in terms of my soft tissue recovery. So I'll shoot that over to you.
All right.
But getting into the matches, or to your guys' match, again, I know Ben's very humble, but one thing that we can't fail to mention is like your last two big matches at the Armbender. RVJ and Todd Hutchings, again, two of some of the most elite people in arm wrestling, and they weren't able to roll over you. And again, like the difference in time in the sport was super low. So obviously you have a great background, great pedigree, lots of wins. Dustin, you're newer into the sport, but you've beaten a world champion in Len Houghton. And that guy's no pushover. He's an absolute monster. He was crushing it at provincials, I believe. He did maybe last year. I can't remember if he was at it this year, but he pretty much crushed everybody. And he's just a beast. And then you kind of had a tough matchup last year with Nathan Johnson. But like I said, stylistically, that guy was an absolute nightmare for you.
Yeah.
So this match is going to be a lot different. But what I'm wondering, before we get into the nitty gritty of it, is due to the injury that you suffered, Ben, is that changing like your style of arm wrestling? Or are we still going to see kind of you coming forward? Or are you looking to, are you focusing your efforts more like on like a more traditional like hook or top roll? Because that's what I kind of saw. I don't know if your match with Jordan, you top rolled him just because, the gap was just there. So you just took it. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, so my side pressure is not like anywhere near where it was. It's improving steadily, and I guess how I pull this match is just going to depend on how the recovery is coming along. But yeah, I have been in training and practice. I've been focusing on top rolling more, more kind of hand dominant. But I still been hooking, like a drag kind of I don't know, like my favorite move used to be just kind of a drab, like kind of a slightly pronated drag hook. And that's not, I guess, where it was right now.
Right. That's a very side pressure dominant move for sure.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I got a, pulley set up here at home with my arm wrestling table. And before my injury, with a big fat handle. Just going sideways. Well, with the bar set with the pulley set in front of me, like a high pulley, and going sideways with it. I pinned 210 pounds, and the other day I couldn't even crack 150. So
Right.
it it just depends on how quickly the strength comes back.
Yeah, and it definitely does. One thing I find in arm wrestling, I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but like I feel like progress kind of comes like in bursts. Like I don't like I might see like little bits of progress here and there, but then like it seems like I'll kind of get to a point, then all of a sudden I'll see like a pretty big leap. And especially when it comes to rehabbing up an injury too, there's just a point to where, just your tendons, your soft tissues, your nerves, those fibers finally say, okay, we're relaxed now. We'll let you like fully lean into us again. Yeah, no, that's really awesome to hear that it is steadily progressing and you're getting back up there. And Dustin, I have to ask too, because again, touching on the match with Nathan, I think that definitely was kind of like your first foray into someone who is just also a specialist, kind of like yourself up to that point, but into his lane. So you kind of got to feel that different style of strength. Has that changed the way that you prepare in general and then how you're thinking about coming into this match?
Oh, for sure. So I've always been, even as a young kid, but all the way into this, I'm very studious. So as you were saying about how there's bursts, so I essentially have set up like an adaptive conjugate system for arm wrestling. That I've taken all the knowledge I've took into other sports and added to this. And that's where you get those bursts is you'll have little jumps because you're consistently getting muscular stronger. But then I'll have a month where all of a sudden you're testing stuff and it might be 10, 20, 30 pounds. So one of the biggest things I did after Nathan is not that Ben definitely pulls differently, but being able to everything I do, I set it up how I like to pull, even though everyone's like, okay, back pressure, sure. So if you're a top roller, your back pressure is here. I will stand here and use a pronator and I guess it is, but it's just different styles. So that way, every strength I gain, every movement is circulating around me, and I've really appreciated in arm wrestling how specific everything is. And so I'll get frustrated. People are like, "Oh, Devin," I'm like, "You aren't Devin. Like, don't do it like Devin. Take Devin, but adapt. Like all our arms are different. Like I'm a very large guy with not a super long arm, so that's going to be very different than a guy just as tall as me with a longer arm. So I've like that's why I brought up like the whole big psi thing, like study, implement, execute. And that's what the SIE was, is because I will just break down everything numerically and I use a lot of percentages. And I think that's what's I don't know if I'm necessarily improving way faster than people, but the brain, like I'm digesting so much in every match. I'm like, okay. And number one is if you have an inner elbow injury, a hook player he's going to roast you. Like I literally was like, I knew I was in massive pain. I actually told Ben that I went and got a double shot and 2 ibuprofen. I'm like, it hurts as soon as I clamp my hand down, just massive. I'm like, there's no way. And it's so funny because you're like, I'll just fight through it. But your body will just like be like, nope, you don't get to. And it just, so everything he did, it was just like, I guess I'll just see how long my bicep can hold. But I never got to tap into, and me and Clifton have worked on that too. He's been an awesome helper. But the side pressure I normally had and the side pressure I was sending videos to Josh and dealing with Joe with was not what Nathan got. That one burnt because I was like, I feel like we were closer than what happened. Like he was the better man for sure. And I'm like, you know what? That was a cool experience. Literally, I have that poster right there and I stare at that dude every day. I was like, I promise you, like you might beat me 1, 2, maybe even 3 times. But at the end, when I finally quit, I will beat you more times than you beat me. I was like, I ain't playing that game. Like I'm very, very competitive because I know how much effort I put in. As you do, and Ben probably does too. But all the people watching, they see a 3-minute match, like, dang. And I'm like, I see 360 to 720 something hours that I put in and gave
Right.
that up. Like everyone, no matter the name, like I'm still new enough. I don't need prestigious names to be proud. I'm like every single name that goes down. I'm like, all right, that I know I put in massive, massive effort for that.
Oh, that brings a good point that I think too. It goes with how different people approach arm wrestling in general. There's people who, for instance, they love the training aspect, and then the match is just how they show the results of their training. And then there's other people who love the competing aspect of arm wrestling. And, for them, it's just like they train to win at competing or just to get to that competing and do well. And even though it is kind of the same thing, like the mindset and the motivations are very different.
Oh yeah, I mean it's
So I
just
totally get that because I'm kind of this, I'm more of a person who I love the training and the matches kind of like secondary in terms of that. Where do
Mhm.
you kind of fall on that spectrum, Ben?
I definitely feel like I get a lot more benefit out of table time. I train, arm wrestling specific exercises, a lot, 4 or 5 times a week usually. But, without the table time, I mean I just don't feel like it does me all that much good without implementing it.
No, totally. And, one thing I also wanted to touch on is a little bit touchy, maybe a little controversial, but I'm sure, it's nothing you haven't really heard before, Ben. But, a lot of people, think or say that because of the string of injuries that you had, you're not going to come forward, you're not going to dive forward. So we're never going to see that old Ben anymore. Do you have anything to say to those people?
Oh, I think I definitely will. I mean, my elbow is entirely healed. Just the strength is not there. I mean, go forward into a hook. I just building the strength back up right now. I will say I'm kind of going through the like newbie pains. Arm wrestling again. Like my inner elbow gets pretty sore for a while after arm wrestling. Whereas my left is doesn't feel anything afterwards, but my right, I'm kind of going through the process of conditioning it all over again.
well, that's fair game. I haven't lost that yet. I
So we
haven't got
both got
past
that
it.
going on.
It's nice when it finally goes away. It's because there was
Yeah.
a point to where I was like, I don't understand how people train so much because I can't. It hurts so bad. And then once my body finally got conditioned to it, like now I can train as much as I want and it feels great. But those newbie pains, I do not. I think I'm probably gonna end up having to go through those again on my left. So I'm not looking forward to that. And thanks for reminding me that that's on its way back because those are. I remember walking around like a T-Rex in my house because I couldn't,
Oh yeah.
keep my arms down.
Can hardly squeeze the steering wheel driving home from practice. You're like, what in the world?
Oh man, one of my first practices, I made the mistake of riding my motorcycle down. And I remember going back home, like I was just using my legs and like leaning only. So I was like, man, if I have to do anything sharp, there's just no way I'm going down. But yeah, the good times, good times. But no, that again, that's good to hear because there's a guy, even in our club who since he had a pretty bad injury, really bad injury, I don't know that he has any plans on competing on his injured arm anytime soon. But in practice he'll go back, but he can't go like his mentally he's got like a block to go sideways on it. So, that's where I think a lot of people's concern was and again, with an opponent like a Dustin that you're going against, the way that, his primary move, it's going to put a lot of pressure in there. So a lot of people kind of see this as a potentially, I don't want to say like a make or break, but like a really good indication of where you are as compared to your past, I guess, because, Dustin's really he's going to put like you have to use a lot of side pressure to go through his move.
Mm-hmm. No, I was put in place to be the guinea pig for Ben for sure. Like Ben's a gatekeeper for me, and I'm a guinea pig for him. It's to test where Ben's rigidity's at and how much he rebounded. And it's like, oh well, if you really are that much stronger, then maybe you have a chance. But judging by the polls, I mean, most people are like, oof. So
This
being the
is really
underdog is
great.
where I love to be because no matter what, I win. I get to be on like the biggest stage, badass production. I get invited again after a loss. And then in the weird chance I win, it's like, holy crap. So, I mean, I get a win-win. I mean, Ben's doesn't really get a lose-lose because since he's coming off injury, it's like, well, that's not 100% 2022 Ben. So, I mean, I think it's a super good match for both of us where neither is losing a great ton, but we can both really test where we're at. So I'm pumped for that.
No, I absolutely agree. And I have to say, from Ben's perspective, if there's, coming back, this is probably like one of the best times because, kind of before your time here pulling in Montana, Dustin, there wasn't really any super heavyweights. There was, Ben and then Clint, and then the other guys kind of like pulled up, Logan, he was kind of getting new into it, but he got that injury himself pretty early on. but there wasn't a lot of super heavyweights within the state. So does it kind of like feel better? Or is it nice seeing for you, Ben, that there's a lot more super heavyweights kind of coming into there, so that way you essentially have more training partners and higher quality opponents to pull against now within the state. You don't have to travel just to get someone in your weight class so that can challenge you.
Yeah, yeah, I'm definitely glad, that it's taken off and there's, a bigger pool of pullers now. I'm looking forward to getting back into it.
You gotta feel better than trying to like compete with a Dan Grosolak left when he's just fit and trim and we're all thick and yeah, like that dude's crazy and he'll just step right up to any big guy. He does not care.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Dan's definitely an oddity in the left arm for sure. So for the Montana Armbender 2026, not all the matches have been announced yet. I don't know how much you guys know about the upcoming matches or not, but is there a matchup here between, or is there a matchup that has not been announced yet that you're hoping to see on the card? We'll start with you, Dustin.
I don't know. I know Josh, he kind of gave away a few hints on a podcast and I was like, is it so and so? He's like, hey, how'd you know that? I'm like, well, you gave away hints and I just kind of did my study in the math. I was like, but I mean, I think after watching, I would say Leif after last year, I really hope he gets something serious because that guy is looking absolutely freakish. Chuck's
Yeah.
looking insane lately. Like for a while, I know we discussed having a match, and then after watching one, I'm like, dude, I am not like it would not be impressive for you to just. So I mean, if Chuck got a match, I think would be pretty cool. And like you said, I don't know all the matches, but I do know a good portion, so I know there's not too many left, too many spots left. But I mean, I know
Yeah.
Leif and stuff just went, so I wouldn't say them be pretty well. I mean, that was very recent. I kind of know where that's at, but I think Leif's starting to crack. It'd be cool to see him get like an elite gatekeeper style. And I don't know who that would be specifically. I'm still learning a lot of the names. Like every event I go to, you see new people. But that guy's been really impressing me lately. Like
Well, I will
I
say that Chuck definitely does have a match, and I really agree with that assessment. Chuck is very exciting to watch. He always brings the heat, and he has improved so much. I don't know if you got a chance to practice with him at all at that super match event, but he's so much stronger. Like there was points last year where I felt like I was kind of closing the gap, and I might have something for him soon. But then after My Bloody Valentine, he really took it seriously, and ever since then, he's just like his level is so high right now.
like
So I'm
I
really
know
excited
he's
to see the Ben and Chuck matchups again coming up.
Yeah, that actually might be a good one. But I know he wants that Brian Parliament match. I
Oh
think
yeah, he wants revenge for sure.
that would be massively different. And I know Brian's down to do it. He already's like, you know what, you deserve it. I'll totally do it. So that would
Oh
be
yeah,
a
once
cool.
he heals up for sure.
Yeah, because I think, yeah, I don't know. I think Chuck he's looking vicious. When I watched him and Jordan Sill, I was like, oh damn, okay,
Oh, he's amazing right now.
right
And
around
Ben,
now.
what is there a match that you want to see?
I don't know. So what matches have been confirmed so far? I mean,
So far, the only matches that have been confirmed are yours and Luke and Tim's, and of course the main event,
and
Adam
Sandris and
and yeah.
Well, and then we have was Logan's not was it
The
not? I
post,
thought
no, the poster isn't pushed out yet.
okay, I totally thought that was like the first one I saw,
because
but
Logan, is he still pulling Jordan Sill
yeah,
left-handed?
correct.
That's what I believe is happening. I'm not 100% sure if it's been announced. I don't
Uh,
see anything on Josh's page for it. So yeah, I don't think it's been announced yet.
For some reason,
I thought that
yeah,
was
and
the first one they
yeah,
announced,
I feel like that was way early. Like that was
like
kind of
way
the first
back.
Armbender announcement.
Maybe, but I'm not seeing any poster or anything on his page. But I think
Gotcha.
it's widely enough known that I don't think it's a problem to talk about.
And
Because
I know,
I knew it was a different picture because Jordan's actually wearing a WAL T-shirt in his.
and Chuck, I think he's got a match with some kid, Easton McCormick, a
Well, I've
young
been
kid.
calling for this match for 2 years. So yeah,
That kid looks mental. Everyone wants him to pull you, Ben. Like even his mom or his dad or someone is like, "Oh, you should pull this kid." And he literally has like ballooned up arms and all. It's crazy. They look like
he's
the
a
size of.
rising star. Pulled him. Was it 2020? At the Airs Super 64. That kid is just unbelievable.
Oh yeah, I know he had a match with Joe at that, and he beat him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then what other? I know Leif was talking that he might have a match with Corey Miller. I don't know if that's
I'm not
still
sure. I
still in the
haven't heard
works or
anything about
not.
that, but that would be another cool
Feeling
one,
pretty
even though
confident.
Corey's a little bit lighter.
I was going to say that seems like
Yeah.
a couple of classes different.
I don't know that Corey has the top end because
Yeah.
Miles beat Corey at Miles City last year
No, Corey would have to have
or
utmost
earlier
faith,
this year.
just absolute
I
dominance.
didn't he beat him left-handed, but Corey beat him right-handed?
I thought I saw him beat him on both, but you might be right. I just remember him getting because I remember
I
everyone
just remember
just
seeing a video of, I'm pretty sure, of Corey flash pinning him right-handed.
that might be right.
I mean, if he did, that's how he would have to do it. I mean, nickname is
But
the
even
Flash.
but Leif, I think definitely much bigger than Miles, much more back pressure. So I don't think it's. I don't really see very many people flashing him. So
I mean, Raymond Leakin's
Yeah. I had a the other weekend in Great Falls. I had with a spur of the moment, super match with Leif right-handed, and he just smoked me.
yeah, he's I'm glad he decided to keep the weight because I remember earlier this year he was talking about going down to the 2s, but I think his frame and everything else just suits being heavier than that for sure.
I mean, he's pretty darn
Yeah,
lean.
that seems like a lot of weight for him to cut because he's
I think
like,
he made 220 for Miles City.
I can't remember what he was like, around like 240, 250 something right now, and like pretty ripped. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
he doesn't have a ton to lose.
one arm pull ups. I was like, "Geez, the wheeze."
He's a monster, absolute monster. And then I was also going to ask, so the Montana rankings, I feel like that's been like a really cool system that's been added in by Josh this year. Who do you guys have in sights specifically for the Montana rankings? And again, we'll start with you, Dustin. Who you looking to challenge? Who do you think you can? Whose spot do you think you can take?
I think I'm even where I'm at just because of stylistic matches I get. I do not think I'm actually that high. Which Josh is like, well, until someone beats you, then that's what it is. But especially like if for some reason I'm not able to take down Ben, I do feel I have a chance. But I would say, gosh darn it, he pulled Logan left last year.
Levi?
Levi, yeah.
Levi Nagel. I think that would be a pretty good match for me. He's under me, but I think we're actually very close. He might even be able to take me. I think
Levi's a very good puller.
Yeah, there's just certain people like Matt Baker. Actually, I pulled at the East vs. West Shaw Classic in Colorado, and he was able to. I mean, he was beating Eddie Hall convincingly, and after pulls, he beat Auden Larrett, which Auden Larrett beat Joe, but then I was able to beat Matt Baker, and that really was like the most eye-opening rock paper scissors. I'm like,
Styles make matches.
Yeah, I'm like, there's no way because I mean, Joe is again getting freakish. Like him and Leif, a rematch that might even be a super good match to run back. Like Matt Baker was just beating all these people, so I was like, how the heck did I beat you? He's like, dude, I've never felt that kind of pressure. Like, instantly, it was just pain, discomfort. He's like, you loaded so hard. I mean, and I'm learning the game pretty quick. Like, I don't want to be the dirty guy, but when I know I'm at a disadvantage, I'm going to pull out all the tools. And I can go forever. And that's what I mean, it's like, dude, like, you just do not quit. So I'm going to burn you as much as I can in the beginning because it's not going to burn me. I will go. Like, if there was a super match at first to 10, I feel like I would have good chances against a massive amount of people. Like, with the way I work and everything I do, like, the body don't get as tired, but then the next day, the arm feels broken.
Yeah, I'm totally right there. I think as an athlete, your job is to win, and the ref's job is to keep it fair. So do what you need to do, get the W. If you get fouls, you get fouls. If you lose, you lose. But like I said, it's on you to do what you need to do to win. Ben, who are you looking at on the Montana rankings, either left or right armed?
I guess after this arm bender, whoever's number one.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I kind of feel like whoever's there is just a placeholder till I'm fully recovered.
Yeah, we're just keeping the seat warm. That's all.
100%. No,
but it all comes down to whether or not I get back to where I was.
that's well said, and I actually 100% agree, and that's a great segue into the last part of this that I want to get into is where it's requested that I give my prediction here live in front of you guys on how this match is going to go. And it kind of a lot comes down to that because I think the best version of Ben Brooks is the strongest arm wrestler that Montana's ever had by a large margin. I think there's a lot of guys coming up and they're getting good, but I still think the best version of Ben would smoke them all. So really a lot of it, and there's still a lot of time for the match. There's a lot of time for both of you guys to get stronger. But I think if Ben, my honest personal opinion of this match assessment is that if Ben even gets to like about 80%, um, like I think it's in his favor. Just I think the experience, and I think just again he's willing to go inside and hook. We've seen before. We don't know yet what adjustments you've made or how you've shored that up yet, Dustin. So we're still waiting to see that. But he knows how to pull you. So I think that I have to give the favor 60-40. But one thing I will say is I think that your style, Dustin, I think once you get your shoulder behind your hand, there's not a lot of people that can stop you. So if you find a way to sink that in and get your shoulder committed, I think you have a shot of beating anyone here for sure. But again, I just think that over the course of a super match, and especially with the Montana Armbender rules, I think it really favors Ben.
Yeah, the
So you
setups
guys are free to rebuttal that however you feel, but give your thoughts on it.
yeah, the setups are definitely a little, I wouldn't say different because I haven't went to a lot of places, but Colorado, they've did like strict WAF rules, and those really hindered me because any slips like me and Ben do out of the bottom, they call a foul. Like, nope, that's an intentional slip. I'm like, well, as a presser, how do I slip? It's like, we'll just slip better. I'm like, well, that didn't answer my question at all. So the arm bender, it does help. It's a little looser, but it's also looser for both people. Not that I am the favorite, but I definitely don't want to give away too much. But there has been lots of work on multiple lanes because being the one trick pony is great, but pretty soon everyone knows that trick. And once you figure out how to get away from it, I mean, even a king's move, it is difficult, but there's ways to get around it. So, no, I've been working on multiple stuff, and super matches have done me very well. Nathan's actually the only one I've lost so far because just as Ben can, he is more experienced, obviously. So he's going to feel holes, he's going to do his stuff. But I can feel stuff. And I mean, without being an absolute just a hole. I mean, part of the goal is target weaknesses, like make it hurt. Like it's the only chance I have because he is going to be the better pull. He's probably going to be stronger in most lanes, but I'll have speed, and there will be. I mean, there's just going to be discomfort. So I actually told Josh I'm not as concerned about win or lose. I just want a true war. Like I like it. I want it to just be hard suffering. Like where's your heart at? I want it to be like that. I'm bummed when it goes fast either way. Like I like that grueling fight. Like I would rather sit in the middle of the table the entire time and just see who's like, you know what, I quit. Like this sucks. Because more than likely I'll be the one who's not quitting.
Right. And I like that point you made about this speed, because that's one thing I'm actually really looking at in this match, because I think Ben, you're actually really sneaky fast in those first hand movements that you make. And you catch a lot of people off guard with them. So yeah, what are your thoughts on the match? Either my assessment or just the match in general? Where's your head at with this?
Is this a best of 5 super match? Is that?
This is a best of 5. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I think only the man
Honestly, I
defense
feel
gets
like
to be that.
if I can keep Dustin out of his press, then I'm going 3-0 me. If he managed to set his press, then 3.
I mean, that's pretty fair. That's pretty much how my
That's
stuff
really what
goes.
it comes down to.
If I get in my spot, I mean, there's only a few people that can pull me out of it, but if you can keep me out of the spot, I haven't established all that tendon rigidity yet, just being that new. So I tend to find that from, I don't know, I guess you'd call it 2 o'clock down is just not very strong yet, which I am working on. I mean, in no way am I weak, but I know that's, I mean, if you get me to losing, yeah, you probably got it. So it's going to be me taking advantage in the setup. I feel like I have actually really increased in my setup. Even though I don't probably do as much table time as other guys, I do stuff very, very, very specific and intentionally every single day. And I purposely set up stuff like I'll even go as crazy as I'm doing stuff, I'll have a band like on my fingertips, and as I press it'll like fall and hit wherever on my strap. I don't know where it's going to hit, and it'll be a random pressure and just try to contain. I mean, I'm putting my utmost respect and effort into Ben. Like I have watching the States, that's going to be like essentially review day before finals. But
Yes.
I mean, right now, like I said, Ben just spit my kid's milk, and I literally am trying to kill you. until
Yeah.
30 seconds after the match, and then it's like, all right, now he's the nicest guy again.
I absolutely believe that you are training like a madman, and I'm excited to see what you pull out of the bag for this one. Dustin, unorthodox training, lots of years of experience. Both of you guys come from strength backgrounds, have had kind of similar move sets before. Like, there's a lot of cool aspects of this match. And that could make it really explosive. It could be very back and forth, or like, if one of you guys just gets it figured out in that first round, like, Ben said, I could see it being a 3-0 either way. Or it could just be like, oh, who gets the go, or maybe who gets the buckle. So yeah, we'll definitely see what goes on for that. And before we sign out for the night, is there anything you want to say to the audience or to anyone at home that's watching, Ben? Or to your opponent, for that matter?
No, not really. I'm looking forward to it. My elbow's not, but I think it'll be fun.
Oh, it's always fun. That's the best part about the sport, is it's just freaking.
Dustin, you got anything?
I mean, for the 80 whatever percent, it's like that. I'm not offended. I use that as complete fuel, and the G of go will be win or lose, pretty much, period. Like, whoever is hitting that G syllable, I feel that's who's going to take it that night. And I mean, even better if I can hit it the half second before the go. I know I've had been my rep before, and there's been people who are like, it's like, well, it's too fast for you to catch it. We're not drag racers. You're not going to have a photo finish. So if I get that quarter second before, you're going to be in a tough spot. And if I get hit before that, I'm going to be in a real tough spot.
No, it's going to be a great match. It can go a lot of different ways, regardless of, what the numbers or the assessments or odds might say. So I think everyone's really rooting for this one. I'm going to be excited to see how the crowd, that great Falls crowd that always gets behind these matches, I'm excited to see how they respond to this. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. This was a great conversation we had here tonight. If you like what we do, please like and subscribe, and make sure to check out that pay-per-view for the 2026 Montana Armbender. And we will see you guys next time.